Hello again, everyone. It is Bob Martin, the RCSubGuy with the Nautilus, drydocks.com. Got a really cool project to share with you. Get a little sci-fi to share. So, as you can see before me, we have a rather odd submersible, but for those of you who may be a little long in the tooth, you may recognize it. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea was a 1960s era program, most famous for the bigger submarine that housed this one, the Seaview. So, what we've done here is we've taken the model kit, a 1/32 scale model kit from Mobius Models, and we have converted it into a fully functional, remote controlled submarine. Let me show you how we did it. So let's take a look at this thing here, and more so everything we've got going on. We've got some display plaques on here and a wooden display stand. We've got a little stand that this sits on with some felt bumpers, so this just rests just like this. Access to the interior hull, super easy. We're just going to grab the upper hull and peel it off because magnets are mounted inside these little receptacles here, and also in the pins, the matching pins in the lower hull. Taking a look at the internal components here, we've got a big black mass, and basically this is the flotation for the unit. This is actually styrofoam insulation that you can get from your local home improvement store. This is the meat and potatoes of the boat. Let's start at the very front. We've got a self-contained, waterproof, high-definition camera. This does not transmit back to shore. It simply records high-definition video, and this is what I recommend basically for everyone, because you cannot transmit video signals through the water because they're too high frequency. So this just drops in here, looks right out the front of the boat, and it actually captures a really neat field of view, as you will see a little later in the video. Power comes from a pair of lithium polymer battery packs. These have been waterproofed, and 1500 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery packs sit nestled back here, and they connect to these power ports. So they got 3 amps of power for this particular boat. All the horsepower, the propulsion horsepower, is achieved through the use of these bilge pumps. And I'm going to turn this here so you can see the label for anybody looking to duplicate this. This is called a slimline bilge pump, inline bilge pump. So the intake is at the front, comes through, and is expelled out the back. Just built some 3D printed brackets, and that's what holds them in. So if for whatever reason these were to stop working, you simply unbolt these and pop them out. The main electronic compartment here is actually a utility box, a waterproof utility box, again from your local home improvement store. The big thing to note with this, as we discovered, this foam seal that goes around the outside comes to you in a strip, and you put it in there. The issue is at the seam, it's not perfectly watertight, so you just need to use a little dab of silicone to seal that foam seal completely against water ingress. Major components that are inside: 2 electronic speed controllers, 1 for each of the bilge pumps. We've got our receiver in the center, and then a single servo. Servo exits through this bellows seal, goes down the linkages to the twin linkage arms, and you get your dive planes in the back of the boat right there. And these are situated directly in the flow coming outside those pumps, which means you get instantaneous and very effective pitch control of the boat. Last thing to note we got here is our test hose. This allows you to test the watertight integrity of your box. You can put that under the water, blow into the hose, and look for bubbles. If you have bubbles, you got a problem, but you will be able to tell exactly where your problem is because you'll see where the bubbles are coming from. Other things to note here, you've got your receiver that pops out the side of the box, your receiver antenna. Just winds around the entire perimeter of the boat, so it's stretched out nicely to get really good reception. Other than that, that is basically it. It is super simple, very reliable, and it actually works really, really well, as you will see, because we've recently tested this in our top secret test facility, and we want to share with you some of the footage that we got there. All right, we got the boat out. Let's prep it for the pond. What we're going to do, we're going to take our battery connections here, and we're simply going to connect the batteries. That's how you turn everything on and off. By the way, the transmitter is on right now. You always want to turn your transmitter on first. The other thing that you probably noticed is there are some blindingly bright LED lights going on. So we've got two big 10 millimeter cool white LEDs in the front. They work like searchlights or spotlights, and then in the back of the boat, got a really cool flashing white LED, just for a little visual interest. Help you keep track of the boat. It should be lots of fun to drive at night. Haven't had an opportunity to do that quite yet. Control of the boat. So we've got our dive planes here. Up and down. Super easy. It's on the right stick, forward and back. And we've got the control of the thrusters, individual thrusters, kind of like a tank, I guess you would say. So the right stick pressed inward turns on the right pump, and the left one pushed inward starts the left one. So the reason that we set it up that way is because these pumps do not work in reverse. These centrifugal style pumps will always pump water in the same direction, regardless of which direction that motor is spinning. It'll just spin more efficiently or pump more efficiently in the proper direction, which is how it's currently set up. And so, originally I would probably go with something like a throttle jockey that would mix rudder and twin motors, but it doesn't work for this because of that lack of reverse. So in operation, to go straight forward, you just push them both in. To turn to the right, you just ease up on the left or right motor. To go left, you just ease up on the left motor. So really, you just kind of intuitively kind of lean into the turn, and then to go up and down, you're just using your right thumb. So a little bit uncommon way to control the boat, and it does take a little practice, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty intuitive. Now that everything's up, everything's tested, everything is on, we simply drop our custom-made foam insert, loop the band over the retaining hook here. If I can see what's going on. There we go. And now it's ready to drop the top on. And I will say aligning the pins is a little bit of a pain, but basically you're just going to go straight down from the top. You can look in from the side, and the pins will align. I can't see what's going on that side, but take my word for it, that's how you do it. And then once that's in, that top gets held on magnetically. There's no foam in the top. There's no upward force trying to disengage it. So you're in really good shape there. And the boat does have slight positive buoyancy. So if anything does happen, eventually it is going to float back up to the surface again. So enough talking. Let's head out to the pool. Well, there you have it, guys. That is an overview of this 1/32 scale flying sub from Voyage to the bottom of the sea. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to build, and it actually went together a lot easier than I was expecting it to. You've got an idea now on how it all goes together. If you want to take a crack at it, by all means, shouldn't have much of a problem putting everything in there. If you have any questions, comments, I would love to hear from you. bob@nautilusdrydocks.com. With that, I'm going to let you go. This is the RC Sub Guy. We will catch you next time.